So, we've known about Venom's inclusion in Marvel's Spider-Man 2 from the beginning. Even as far back as the first game's end credits, it was all but confirmed that he was going to be involved in some way in the sequel. And yet, with the game less than 100 days away, we still don't have that much information on him or his role in the story. Famously, Venom is most often Eddie Brock in other media, but Insomniac has kept things pretty close to the chest when it comes to their interpretation's identity, and they could be going in an entirely different direction altogether. So, who will be Venom in Spider-Man 2? Listen, I know I'm like 3 weeks late to this video. I'm just doing everything in my power to not become a Spider-Man channel, okay? This video is brought to you by Ipsos iSay. If you're not familiar, Ipsos is a nearly 5-decade-old market research company, and Ipsos iSay is a simple way to participate in their research surveys, and by doing these surveys, you can easily earn points and rewards that you can exchange for gift cards to your favorite stores like Amazon, Target, whatever you can think of. Making these videos, I need to order like a lot of small things from places like Amazon, like this filter for my lens or these cables for my microphone, and so the gift cards that I earn by just doing surveys are great for things like that and letting you save a little bit of cash. The surveys are super transparent about where your data goes and how it's used. They're tailored to your interests, so you're never asked questions about something you don't know about, and they're so quick and easy that they're great for any downtime that you might have, like waiting for the bus, going to the gym, waiting for a game to load, or waiting for these videos to render, because oh my god, it takes so long sometimes. Click the link down below to start earning rewards today, and thanks to Ipsos iSay for sponsoring this video. Now, back at Summer Games Fest, Insomniac basically made it clear that their version of Venom wasn't going to be Eddie Brock, and that's not exactly a surprise. Venom as a character has been a mantle that's been passed around in the source material for a while, making him sort of a legacy character and allowing different creative teams to try their hand at different takes and interpretations. He's been Eddie Brock, Matt Gargan the Scorpion, Angela Fortunato, Lee Price, Flash Thompson's Agent Venom, the list goes on. Now granted, most of these other Venoms haven't been all that interesting if you ask me. Even I, the world's biggest defender of Scorpion, think that nobody's really ever been able to hold a candle to Eddie Brock in the role. I do think though that purely as like a concept, like on paper, Scorpion is the better anti-Spider-Man than Venom is, but that's a topic for a whole other day. Now some people will say that Eddie Brock has already been confirmed in the Insomniac universe with the first game, like Eddie the garbage man that helps Peter track down his missing stuff after being evicted.
You're trash, Brock.
We all know that the name Edward is incredibly rare, especially in New York, and so this has to mean that Eddie Brock will be in the sequel. Eddie Brock is Venom confirmed. Alright, let's wrap it up everyone. For real though, there is a backpack you can find which has a card to Peter from the Daily Bugle staff, including a signature from someone named... Oh. Well, I guess that clears that up. And while I think it's definitely within the realm of possibility that we'll see Eddie as Venom in possible future installments, like maybe a spin-off game in the same vein as Miles Morales, I also think that we can maybe look elsewhere as to who this version of Venom might be. Now, you might be sitting there saying that Venom is obviously Harry Osborn, and based on the most recent story trailer, I wouldn't blame you. I mean, first we had the credit scene in the first game showing Harry in the tank with the symbiote, which seems pretty telling, and then this newest trailer just goes and throws it all over our face. We see more of Harry, he's clearly up to something when it comes to him and his dad, but the most telling thing is how it starts and ends with...
But I need you with me, Pete. We're gonna heal the world.
We're going to heal the world.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
The rest of the trailer was great too, of course. MJ's new face model looks amazing. We got a big wheel reference, which you know I love. Peter looks great. Wait, hang on a minute. Okay, Insomniac, now you've crossed a line. I chalked up Kraven and Lizard and Teacher Peter and the different suit color palettes to just a coincidence. But this is too far. You'll be hearing from my lawyers. Harry as Venom definitely has potential to be interesting from a story perspective. Ironically enough, the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon was the first thing to try it as far as I know. Peter's best friend returning and becoming the antithesis to everything he stands for is something that has a lot of weight to it and can be done super well. I think that it works a little bit better with him becoming the Green Goblin after his father, but that's purely just because I prefer Green Goblin as a character and as like the arch nemesis. That's mostly a me thing. But him being Venom streamlines a lot of that story and removes a lot of the bloat that you otherwise might have in trying to introduce someone new like Eddie Brock and building that relationship from scratch in a single game. But honestly, maybe I'm reading a little too much into it, or it's just like the inner Scooby-Doo in me, but I sort of feel like it's too obvious. Like they're really beating this thing home in what's only their like third trailer, second if you don't count that gameplay thing. When you compare that to something like God of War Ragnarok, which kept huge story and gameplay concept out of the marketing entirely, it makes me a little suspicious that there might be something more to it, or at the very least some editing trickery at play here. Because if it wasn't a secret, I feel like they would just tell us, right? And going back to the first game's credit scene, after 5 years, it would sort of feel a little underwhelming for them to just say, oh yeah, that 15-second scene? Yeah, that's all there is to it, actually. And so I think that it's a given that there's at least going to be something afoot here. Speaking of foot, why does Venom have toes? Why do we keep doing this? It scares me. I don't like it. You might be commenting that this video is stupid and pointless because it's obviously Harry, But honestly, the funniest part of this whole Venom theory discourse is that I've seen a solid 30 different people go, guys, can't you tell? Are you fucking stupid or something? It's so obvious. It's clearly going to be, and then followed by like wildly different takes. So I don't think it's as obvious as some people are saying it is. Although I am a little terrified that Brian Inhar's just gonna straight up confirm that Harry's Venom in some like GameSpot interview like next week, making this whole video worthless, but we'll get there when we get there. And so if this is just a red herring and Venom isn't going to be Harry, what are the other possibilities? One other big theory that I've seen a lot of is that it's actually going to be Peter himself. Based on what we've seen so far with the symbiote affecting Peter and pushing him more down this violent path, a lot of people have seemingly become convinced that he's going to go so far as to fully transform and no longer just be Black Suit Spider-Man, and instead the full-on monster that is Venom. They're citing this one line as evidence from the gameplay trailer.
It's got big teeth. So do I.
I don't know about that. I think it's just a cool line. Now, I've talked a little bit about this in the past, and upon thinking a little bit more, I'm not entirely sure where I stand on it. Firstly, the whole point of the symbiote story is Peter slowly becoming more and more like Venom. He sees Venom in the mirror, he has dreams about Venom. This fear of turning into that monster is part of what leads to him taking off the suit. In Chip Zdarsky's Spider-Man Life Story, which is an alternate timeline where all the Marvel heroes age in real time, it's a great book. It's probably one of the best Spider-Man comics ever. I swear, it's really good. I really recommend it. In issue 3, Peter's wearing the symbiote in his 40s to make up for his age. The events of Kraven's last hunt happen, and Peter is buried alive by Kraven before emerging as a hulking monster to hunt him down. And I could see something similar potentially happening in this game. But like, if he were to still keep it on, he's still Spider-Man, though. Like, he might be meaner and more violent, and he might be a big monster with a big set of teeth and a tongue, and he might eat a kid that's just looking for his balloon. But to me, the Venom mantle is created when Peter forces the symbiote off and it finds a new host to get revenge. I know that technically the symbiote is named Venom. I don't like that. I like Venom being a name that Eddie and the symbiote picked for themselves. I think that's a far more interesting way to do it. And I can't fathom Peter, while wearing the symbiote, saying, I am not Spider-Man anymore, I am Venom. And that's not to mention the thematic reasons for having Venom be separate from Peter, forcing Peter to face off against the physical embodiment of the mistakes he made while wearing the black suit. Also, we literally see both Spider-Men fighting Venom twice, thrice if you count the Comic-Con booth. So yeah, I'm not really sure about this one. And if you're here from the future, definitely be sure to let me know how well this video aged, because that's always helpful feedback and everybody loves it. Could Peter be Venom for a little bit? Maybe. It would make a really fun boss fight where you have to play as Miles to snap him out of it. In fact, it's entirely likely that Venom might end up being a lot of different people throughout the story. But I do think that there will be a singular host to be the main Venom, and that's what everyone's been wondering about. One of the other bigger theories that Venom could be is the only other main villain that we've seen so far from the game, and that's Kraven. Now, as far as I'm aware, there's not really a precedent in any other media for Kraven to be Venom specifically, but in the famous Kraven's Last Hunt story, after burying Peter alive, Kraven put on his own version of a Spider-Man black suit and fought crime for a bit in order to prove that he was better than Spider-Man before he... And so it's definitely possible that Insomniac will take the idea of Kraven putting on a black suit and turning it into Kraven putting on the black suit. Various other Spider-Man media has given Kraven mutant powers in order to face off better against Spider-Man, mainly the Spectacular Spider-Man and that long-ass fan fiction I made like a year ago where I just ripped off the Spectacular Spider-Man. Oh, also the Kraven movie did that. I forgot that exists. I'm sorry. And in concept, this could be a really simple way to do a two birds, one stone kind of thing, making the mutant powers not him turning into a gross, furry lion man, but instead into Venom. I think if it were to be done right, this could definitely be really interesting, and it's my favorite of the out-of-the-box theories that we've seen so far. Maybe if they were to do something similar to Life Story and Peter becoming Venom for a little bit, Kraven could see the power of the symbiote suit and the beast that it turns someone like Peter Parker into, and he could be drawn to that kind of power and want it for himself. I mean, Brian Inhar, the creative director for this game in the first, said one of the things that they wanted to focus on was how this version of Venom needed both Peter and Miles to be defeated. And putting this guy inside of this sounds like you need two Spider-Man for that. I do have a few concerns with this idea though. As much as I love Spectacular and how I did it in my pitch video, I definitely see the appeal of Kraven as a character being someone who specifically doesn't need the help of mutant powers or an alien symbiote to fight Spider-Man. He's just a very buff dude with a lion on his chest, and that's all he's gotta be. You would basically run the risk of erasing the things that make Kraven special just to turn him into Venom. I do think that the writing team over at Insomniac would be able to handle it well, but there's always that possibility. But my biggest issue with it is that Kraven just doesn't have that relationship with Peter Parker that I think Venom should always have. The best part about Eddie Brock as Venom is his undying hatred not only for Spider-Man, but also for Peter, and his lust for vengeance when he realizes that the two are one and the same. That duality is what makes the rivalry so interesting in their early encounters. And I think without that, just making Venom someone who hates Spider-Man and has no idea who Peter Parker is, it makes him sort of blend in with the rest of the rogues gallery, not stand out as much. I know people don't like when the villain knows the secret identity, but I'm sorry, it's an integral part of some of these stories. Who knows though? Maybe that Kraven and Peter relationship could be developed in this game. I don't really know how Peter Parker and Kraven the Hunter could meet and form a bond like that, but I can't say for sure right now. Because really, what I think is happening I think we're being fucking lied to. Think about this for a second. Who was the main villain of the first game? Doc Ock, right? Did we get any promotional material involving Doc Ock? Aside from leaks, was there anything at all before the game came out that hinted that he was going to be involved in any way? No, there was nothing. In fact, that shit was kept so under wraps that they had to literally hide the $150 collector's edition statue because it kind of featured a little bit of one of Doc Ock's arms. I know because I have it somewhere behind me. It's back there. It's not even in frame. I'm sorry, that's embarrassing. And the same thing happened with Miles Morales, though to a lesser extent. We knew that Tinkerer was going to be the main villain, but we had no idea the direction that they were going to take and that Finn Mason was even a character. Basically, my point is, we've only seen a few glimpses of this game so far. We had a reveal trailer, a few screenshots, a gameplay demo, a steelbook, a statue, some original suits, a PS5 special edition with covers that sold out immediately and it makes me so mad, and now this last story trailer. As of recording this video, that is it. Insomniac and their marketing has been in total control of this game and its story from the very start. I'm not saying that it's like deceptive marketing or anything. I'm saying that there's literally not enough information to even try and say that something is obvious or confirmed. Hell, they could straight up be lying and Eddie Brock is in the game. Fuck it, maybe that's him right there, who knows? Maybe Venom isn't even actually the main villain and it's Superior Spider-Man or Big Wheel or some Spider-Verse shit. I just know that in 2 months there's gonna be some genius in the comment section who's already played the game or who watched the cutscenes on YouTube who's coming in with their galaxy brain take of, ha 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 ha, wow, this didn't age well. Yeah, no shit it didn't. The game's not out yet. So who do I think will be Venom? I have no fucking idea. Based on what we've seen, it feels like it's probably Harry, and that sounds great. Or they could pull a switcheroo and make it Eddie, or Peter, or Kraven. Or they might do something with Martin Lee creating Anti-Venom. Hell, maybe they'll even bring back Mac Gargan as Scorpion and we'll finally get a good Mac Gargan Venom story. I'm begging you. There's so much potential. There's so much potential and it just nobody does anything good with it. Either way, I'm excited, and either way, I trust Insomniac, and either way, they'll be hearing from my lawyers. But who do you think Venom will be in Spider-Man 2? And if you like this video, be sure to the like button and subscribe. Special thanks to 21 Escalators, also The Sting, and Cabbage Boy, Cassidy, Chicken McDoofus, Cosmic Tragedy, DJ Ricky 08, Egan McFarlane, Eden Kenna, Jake Selig, Crispy Raccoon, Lime Spice XLs, Pencil Fans, Shay Lig, Simply Dan, Tim Neufeld, Tyler Goodrich, Yash Kapoor, Zachary Stonebreaker, and Zero to Hero 148 for being spectacular fanboys on my Patreon. This has been TroyBoy17 coming at you live. Be responsible, and I'll see you around.